Hey everyone, as you've noticed, I didn't do an update in the middle of February or do a February end result, so I'm going to be addressing that today. I would try to give a bunch of excuses, but really don't have any. There was a time period where I was just feeling lazy, and then Lent was coming up, so I was focusing more on being able to just enjoy myself and not think too much about things. So, unfortunately, that did cause me to break my promise, and it's all on me. It's all my decision, and that was probably not good in the long run, but I would have to say I don't have regrets at the moment. I enjoyed the time and enjoy it. The other thing that I realized during that time period was that the style that videos that I wanted to do was not going to work because I don't know when certain events was going to happen that would be worth recording. So, at least for the purposes of B-roll. So for now, gonna be using B-roll from other sources to present my ideas and stories and be able to express myself through that medium. But without further ado, let me get into the updates that have been going on right now through my life for what I have achieved in February and what I hope to do throughout March during the time of Lent. So for faith, I had the goal in February to have radical trust in God, and I would say I have definitely done that. And my anxiety is down, my ability to just let go and let be has risen, and I have definitely seen the results of that and can just say that it has been a very huge blessing for me in my life, and being able to experience that and know that all will be okay. It might not go how I want, but it's going to be okay. And as I mentioned, Lent began in late February, so beginning that practice, and some of my Lenten practices is saying no to alcohol, complete chastity, praying the rosary every day for trying to prepare myself for a relationship, but as well as making sure that I have a continuing and healthy relationship with God first, and being able to integrate all of that, as well as not eating out, not drinking alcohol, and pretty much being more mindful of what I am putting into my body for both health reasons and for money reasons. The main reason, and this ties into my March goal, is being able to control the various hungers and desires that I have. And it is amazing to find how much I use apps, tools, etc., food, alcohol, what I use to just avoid being bored or just to pretty much fill in the various holes that I have in my soul and heart that have been bothering me. So in essence, I'm trying to escape reality of what God created and go into this fantasy world where I don't have to feel discomfort. Which, of course, if you know when you're trying to progress, that's kind of a issue, because the whole point is to make yourself uncomfortable so that way you do move forward. So for the field of family and friends, my February goal was to have more genuine bonds and actually spend more time talking to people, especially ones in my life. And I've done that more with family and friends, FaceTiming them more and having good, deep conversations, especially making Christian friends that share my faith and I can talk to in ways that I can't talk with friends who don't share that faith, because they just want to understand various things, such as prayers answered or seeking counsel on areas that they would understand the limitations or where I'm trying to go, especially in relationship with God. And I've decided for my goal for March is also not to chase friendships or trying to become more people's friends, and learning to let people love me for me, which would help me be able to be more secure in who I am and understand that I don't need to earn people's love, and that it's something that's natural, and that I am likable for who I am, not because of what I can do for them, but because of them just simply enjoying my presence. In the field of fitness for February, my main focus wasn't so much on weight loss, it was on controlling alcohol. As I've stated before, that was the main issue for a lot of areas in my life. And I would have to say happily that I have succeeded, and I am so glad that I don't have an issue with alcoholism. It's something that I definitely have to keep in mind, especially after Lenten season when I am allowed to drink again, to be able to keep it moderated and not rely on it to have a good time. And the other thing I did was about a week before Lent, took some time off the gym to be able to just rest. And I've noticed like I felt guilty, but having to let that go, understanding that rest is an important aspect of growth, especially for physical fitness, but it also ties into mental health. And learning how to let go of the guilt of being able to do that, and this whole mindset of the constant grind is like, okay, cool, but it's a lifelong journey. Sometimes you do need to take rest to be able to get back up and push forward even farther. And for pushing farther, that goes into my March goal, where right now I'm sitting about 240 pounds, and that by the end of March, I'm hoping to be 230 pounds or less. I understand that there's fat loss and muscle gain, and there's so many different factors which the Bod Pod will be able to help sort out, but that is my current goal to try to reach. In the field of finance, I was actually happy that I did a lot better with keeping more to budget. Did go over a little bit, but it was very manageable and was able to take care of those deficits. And one thing that's going to help me definitely get back into the green will be the tax returns. So I didn't touch anything that I needed to save. It's just keeping within the green constantly without having to be in the red zone at all. And one thing I found during February was that a lot of the causes for going into the red was tied to food, which of course is tied into trying to escape from reality and everything. So it's always fascinating to me how things are always interconnected and how bad choices will affect all areas of my life, while good choices will also affect all areas of my life. Hence, my goal for March is to be more thoughtful about my purchases and take some time to think, do I really need this? Do I truly want this? Why am I buying this or purchasing whatever product it is, and what will be the good of it? For the field of education, it was quite simple. I just wanted to revamp my playlist to make it more streamlined and make more sense. So now I've pretty much have my two playlists that I watch daily. One is education, which is focused on learning new things and keeping up to date. And the other is motivation and inspiration to drive me to push my goals and also get new ideas for what I would like to do myself, which sort of inspired my March goals, which for now is to filter those sources, because I found a lot of videos that I just did not need to know that, and I don't need to know everything. There are just some things I don't care about, and that's okay. So being more selective about the sources that I will spend my time with, because I could always go and research something if I find I need it later, but I can never get the time back of learning things that really have no benefit to me. As for career, military-wise, I have a new work schedule that is very unique, so I'm going to be working 12-hour shifts, and pretty much for every day that I work, I will have a day off, and so pretty much learning to adapt to that, where I'm still productive, still making progress in my goals, but also fulfilling the duties and obligations that I have there. So that is a whole new interesting experience. But I have to say that I'm actually quite enjoying it and have a great team that I work with. And as you can tell on the social media side, for March it's going to be a little bit slow because of Lent, but I also did not meet my February goal of being consistent with producing videos, as you saw with the lack of videos in February. So hoping to do that, but along with that is producing videos on time, but with quality of this new style that I'm trying out. In the field of romance, I still have the same crush, it's still the same guy, but I have a lot of peace and calm about it, because in the past I used to be totally worried about whether I was right or wrong, am I being delusional, and a lot of good friends have asked me a lot of questions that are very logical, but when it comes to matters of faith, especially when I'm asking God to help me find a partner, there's just certain things people who don't follow my faith won't understand. So that makes things interesting. I will have to say I feel a lot of peace and calm about the path I'm traveling, and I definitely see God acting in my life, especially in the changes in how I look at things and the self-control I have and other aspects, and how I start looking at other people, and also reviewing myself and the values that I have and the dreams, and starting to ask questions, is this compatible with another person? Even if it's not him, would this work with anyone else? And as I've mentioned before, I'm doing a daily rosary, with first the intention of becoming closer to God and having that daily prayer and reflecting on the life of Christ. But the other aspect is just praying to prepare myself to be in a relationship with my crush YG and hope that everything will go well in that timeline and knowing that it will be okay. So that sets the March goal of working on being optimistically confident. And the reason I say being optimistically confident is letting go of worry, because it is definitely not the top priority right now. It is important to me, and denying that is not going to be good one way or the other. It's just, okay, this is something I don't have to worry about, and I do trust that God is leading me in the right way, so just let it be and let it happen. And when I do have moments of doubt, just pray about it and understand whatever will be, and that is not in my control. Which is actually kind of comforting, because I have to still work on self-confidence, and the whole idea of having to try and impress someone or be at a certain level is kind of daunting. But through that process, I'm also learning to like myself more, and if my future, or if my current crush doesn't like me for who I am, then obviously they're not the one. But I am preparing myself to be the right person for whoever my future husband is. And thinking about all these things, I am definitely going to say that Lent is hard, and it's kind of like one of those things where as soon as you fix one issue and you discover like 3 other issues that you need to work on. It's tiring, it's exhausting, but I will definitely say it's very much worth it, and I am so happy with the progress that I've seen. I am happy with the journey that I'm going on, and yes, I do want to reach the end point, but I'm starting to slowly take my focus away from getting to the end point and now focusing more on the daily journey and the blessings that are within that day and enjoying that day, so that way I don't overwhelm myself or become anxious or again worry about things that I have no control of in the first place. So I'd like to say thank you so much for following me along in this journey. I hope that you will find some benefit from it. I always ask, please pray for me and continue to support me in whatever ways, thoughts or prayers, of course, whatever is best for you. And I hope that your own journey goes very well and that you progress forward, and understand that though it's not an easy journey and you will be tired, it will be so worth it. So if you have to, take some time to rest, recoup, and then get back up and keep on going. So until next time, be blessed.